Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video here on Bitcoin, which there's a lot to talk about. Alright, yesterday afternoon I still did an update on Bitcoin, so we'll start off with that. I mean that was relatively bullish, and what we said in there after that initial bullish move over the course of yesterday afternoon, obviously right here into 105.8. What we said there is that, I mean, we're leaving some imbalances, which you can no longer see, but here there's an imbalance right here. So the reaction, so we're probably going to fill those, and then the reaction to that level means a lot. Now, we spiked all the way back down to the POC right here, which happens quite often. And that's also what we spoke about in the premium group, what you'd like to see is a very strong reaction from there if you want to see higher prices. Which this price action has been particularly strange because we did get a strong reaction, and we reclaimed above 104,200, the value area high, with that move. So we actually did go for higher highs here into 107,000, which in general, if you watch my videos, you always knew I expected the price at least to get into that level between 106 and 108, so that's achieved. But then from there we dropped down all the way, not only back into the range but also below the POC, and now we've hit the bottom of the range, the value area low right here at 102.6, 102.7, and we're not really getting that much of a reaction from that. The volume is also not that high. I mean, you can see so far we're holding it, right? So technically we are still within the range, but there are a couple of reasons why I expect Bitcoin to reach lower first before getting back into the range. Because ultimately, I mean, on the higher time frames, I am still bullish on Bitcoin, right? As long as we're holding this level between 100,500 and 101.5, so 101,500, I still have to be bullish. I think structurally you have to be as well. And we haven't broken down below that level yet. However, short term, I do think we're going lower, and that's for two main reasons. First of all, the weak reaction we're seeing so far from support, right? This value area, look, the 200 EMA should at least provide some support, which it didn't really. The value area low right here of last week should at least provide some relief here at 102.6, which it did. But subsequently, we're starting to fall. And then outside of that, which perhaps matters even more, is the fact that pre-market, the stock market has pulled back a bit, and there's still a lot of imbalances to the downside, which it can fill. And therefore, if the S&P 500 is going to pull back lower for whatever reason, could be a lot, could be fundamental, could just be technical, it will pull Bitcoin together with it, right? So at this point of time, it looks more likely that we will pull back lower into that previous value area low at 101.6, potentially even like into the 100s. I don't expect us to drop down lower unless we get some bearish news, which obviously, if we get that, then that's always a possibility. But I expect us to pull back into that level. And then from there, I do expect support again, all right? Because I think ultimately, fundamentally, like I said, on the higher time frames, technically, I think we're still strong. I think we're still bullish. And then if you take a look at the fundamentals, we still have a Coinbase Bitcoin premium, although it went into a bit of a discount earlier this morning. And I'd say that even though the stock market can pull back a little bit lower, ultimately it's still bullish, right? And if it wants to break the uptrend, it's going to take a lot, and I don't expect that to happen. All right, so therefore I'd say that, Bitcoin will find support, and then all of a sudden, once we have actually found support, which, like I said, I think is going to be lower, then all of a sudden you have imbalances to the entire upside. All right, you basically have one huge imbalance, which you can see on the 1 hour time frame right here from 103.2 all the way up to 104.4, and then there's a huge amount of single prints there as well, which also are quite likely to fill. So in short, I do think we're going to find support first of all, and I think we can have a pretty aggressive move to the upside again once we actually have found that support. So let's say I expect something like this, right? Where the support exactly is going to be is always difficult to predict, difficult to estimate. But my personal favorite level would be under 101,000 and above 100,000. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know. I'll be back with a middle of the day market update later today, so keep an eye on the channel for that. But for now, have a great week. Take care and bye.